It has a potential for a snowball, right?
Yep, it has potential for snowball. It has anti-CC, so he plays technically independently. Has a very good early game, especially when you're up against Zushin. It's like, all right, you can stack up as much as you want, but I'm gonna beat you down while that happens, and I still have anti-CC to kind of walk away, even if you max stack me.
I agree with that. I think there's a very early game and mid-game presence that the Martis does offer, but the range is a big concern for me. But technically, maybe that's what the Matilda was made for. But it looks like Falcons Apbren, they're going to double down with the glue in the EXP lane. What do we think about this?
Definitely for the glue play here for Falcons Apbren, it's more of zoning out a specific player prior team fight. Probably zone it into a way wherein he won't be part of objective taking. So that's where they could be on the upper hand in terms of that team fight.
And so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, glue in the EXP lane, and we have Martis in the mid lane in true NIP Flash fashion. And of course, both of these picks are going to turn out as one of these teams, unfortunately, will have to be eliminated at the end of this best of 3. So let's kick off and start game numero 2.
This is our second best of 3 elimination at stake with Falcons Apbren on the red side up against NIP Flash on the blue side. When these games begin, I'm expecting blood super early on, right? Let's see whether we see first bloods anytime soon. No, not just yet. They're both going to be on mirrored sides of the map.
I was expecting to have someone from Falcons Apbren to go for the vision, probably because they want to go on the route we're in. Who clears the minion wave first? So expect a lot of pokes at the middle lane here for both our teams, and looking at the emblems. Pretty much the usual ones for this heroes, but we could see for NFP Flash that they want to go for the Quantum Charge, so they want faster plays. Again, this is a Martis. You want a snowball, you want to be up fast.
Whoa, Owl trying to take away the River Crab there, putting himself in a lot of danger, but luckily Cortese able to push out that mid lane really early on. But based off of the emblems, right, a couple of things that I noticed. Owl opted to go for Master Assassin, and Hades, interestingly enough, going for the War Cry. Now, we've seen a lot of like Julian play throughout the group stages. Some opting to go for Impure Rage, others even going for Quantum Charge.
Probably because there is this synergy if you will go for a Martis, and then you'll have more on the damage side for the Julian. It will be a lot faster for them in terms of execution. So it's something that Falcons Apbren has to look forward. So there is a change in terms of how they really rotate on this game. We almost see Flap TZ be in front of everyone, but they're just waiting for that perfect counter setup against NIP Flash.
Yeah, I think for the time being, Falcons Apbren don't want to interact with NIP Flash in the earlier stages of the game because their top is pretty strong 3-4, but here we go. You see the Mortal Coil is being thrown out by Kyle. He's going to get repositioned immediately after, saved by JPL. Matilda Airways still very effective, but that begs the question, is Adamir in a lot of trouble here? He's max stacked so far. He's trying to clear these waves, but Few is making his life really, really difficult, especially since he can't walk forward. With the help of the glue slow, he can basically not move.
Yeah, and that was a nice juggle, by the way, for Adamir. It's almost a buy time for NFP Flash because the turtle isn't taken yet.
Yep, turtle gets taken by Kyle. They find the first blood here. Cortese might be in some trouble. His glue is already attached to him. He doesn't want to step into globules. Forced backwards. Has to use the Mortal Coil. Flickers over the turret. And he manages to survive all of it despite Falcons Apbren consistently CCing him to the ground.
Wow, and after everything that happened, there's no casualties. Just a turtle taken here for Falcons Apbren. So it's a nice usage here of the flicker, by the way, for Flap TZ. Right in front of his teammates, and even with that Minowan's roar from Motivation Roar rather from Ogwen. So again, things are a bit slow, more in pokes here for both of our teams. They want to take up those objectives as much as possible, but we really need to see later on that double laning already from Super Marco, because if in case he isn't able to do that, things might be slow here for Falcons Apbren.
Very much so. I mean, the fact is that Super Marco is taking not only double lanes, but also opting to take a couple of jungle camps once in a while if these turtle dances are taking way too long. But we did get a taste of what Fcap's overall composition wants to do. They want to really drag out these fights and really force NIP Flash in a position where they don't have the resources to make it happen. But here on that top side, we do finally find first blood as Adamir getting a nice Daytona's welcome to set it up, but he did cost him his flicker.
They're really focusing on Adamir, probably because Adamir is the one who is on the hard to sustain side for NFP Flash. Again, for JPL, it's more of a safety net here for the team, more on escaping using that guiding wind, and even the ultimate, or yeah, even the Circling Eagle here for JPL is probably used as something for Adamir. So it is a connection between this Barats and even the Matilda, but at the same time for Adamir he has to be careful because again he is the one that is to set up the play for NFP Flash.
Speaking of setup, once again on top side, Few as well as Flapteezy making sure that Adamir is going to consistently have max stacks of glue. Just look at Flapteezy, harass him underneath his turret, but Adamir doesn't mind, right? Now that Hades and JPL have some position, they're going to get into the fight as Flapteezy is going to try and zone out as many people as possible. Goes into the split. The Mortacles is not letting him get away here, and even with the execution, it wasn't enough. He's still alive as the rest of Falcons Apbren smash their heads against the wall against NIP Flash. Adamir does get the Daytona's welcome, but it's not enough. He doesn't have any damage to back it up. He ends up dying, and Fcap just showing you the zone control.
Yeah, and even layering of skills here of Falcons Apbren is really on point, right? Because they are forcing a team fight, yes, but at the same time, it's more of a controlled aggression wherein they know who can burst easily as much as possible, and they know that the mobility of this Barats is not as fast as compared to the other players or heroes of NIP Flash. So they just zone out Adamir and focus on bringing him down because they are already able to secure an objective against them.
Adamir is going to lose relevance throughout this game, right? He's not a scaling EXP laner. He's just one big tank that's good early to mid, and his big play makes are based off of his battle spells. With that being said, Falcons Apbren do take a tier 1 down bot side.
And we gotta also consider for NFP Flash, TZ now has the Sky Piercer. So they might want to do a play now against Falcons Apbren. Again, they need to group up. Okay.
Supermarco looks like he just gets locked down, getting chased by everyone. Even Ogwen can do nothing about it, helplessly watching his gold laner die.
Just when we said that NFP Flash needs to do a play now, they just did. So that is a nice skill there for NFP Flash, and things are still looking good for Falcons Apbren. Now for NFP Flash, they need to convert objectives now against Falcons Apbren. Probably go for a split push or have Adamir be part of the team fight and give space for Owl. Things for Owl, he is second to Super Marco's gold, or for the totality of the gold, by the way, second to Super Marco. So Owl has the Wind Talker now. Can go for a defensive item here, maybe a Thunderbelt also, which would be nice for him. So NFP Flash focusing on limiting here the gold lead of Falcons Apbren.
Yeah, I think that NFP Flash eventually need to find some kind of momentum. Right now, Flapteezy, once again, being annoying, zoning out Hades, and as well as JPL, goes into that split form. Hades cannot get anywhere close to this turtle, but in the meantime, Kurt has been taking plenty of damage, and now we do see that Hades getting yoinked back with the help of Glue, securing that kill. Falcons AP really not giving a lot of advantages over to NIP Flash so that they have that kind of tempo. Once again, Kyle and as well as Flap just zoning off Adamir and as well as JPL. They cannot defend this purple buff in the meantime, which is, well, it doesn't really matter to Hades, but he would rather to keep even level with Kyle.
Yeah, everything is looking nice here for Falcons Apbren, and this is the space we're talking about for NFP Flash. As long as Owl has that good laning phase for him, it's going to be easy for them. So for Falcons Apbren, they need to focus now on stopping Owl. But yeah, there's a setup play.
Yep, he's going to get pulled on backwards. Owl really caught out of position here. Can't do much about it. Tries to get pulled away by the Circling Eagle once again. Ends up dying to Kyle regardless. Good play as the Minoan's Fury is out. Pulling them underneath the turret. This could be big for them as Hades finds one with the enhanced swords. It is Kyle as well as Curtis getting involved in the mix. If he can just find one execution, it could be enough. But Kurt goes down with the help of Super Marco. It's going to be Kyle who secures that double. 4 for 1 in favor of Falcons Apbren. You know what? Let's make it a full wipeout as Spear of Alpha comes out as well. Unstoppable for Kyle TZ.
This is what we're saying, that it is Falcons Apbren on the playoffs mode. They're just going places against NFP Flash. They know what to do. They know where to focus. And when we said that Owl should be now the target of Falcons Apbren, they just shifted their play on that lane and limited again the resources of NFP Flash. And what's also good for Falcons Apbren is that they are continuously moving on these areas where in NFP Flash could actually lessen the lead of the goal. So the economy just now is at 4,800 lead, and now 5,000 for Falcons Apbren. So NFP Flash, they might want to do a play wherein they will single out a player against Falcons Apbren, but it's going to be difficult for them. But they can go for that Circling Eagle and then a Retribution for Hades for the Lord Steel.
Yep, and here we go once again. Animir just getting slowed. Max stacks from Glue, making sure that he's keeping. Oh wait, nearly getting two there, forcing JPL to use his ult super early on. Daytona's Welcome is going to hop him over the wall, so he doesn't get pulled back in time. But with the help of the airlines, he's able to reposition. But no one's Fury does come out. They don't find a kill just yet, as Falcons Apbren have already secured the Lord. They're going to take this tier 2 very shortly as Kyle finds Hades. He's out of position now, but the rest of his team is here to back him up, and he's able to max stacks with the help of the War Axe to keep himself alive. Kyle knows he has a lead, and he demands respect.
You know what, Gideon, we really have to commend how Ogwen is playing on this game. It's as if he's the leader. He's not forcing any team fight we're in. It will be disadvantages for them. He uses that motivation roars so good that for NFP Flash, it's really hard to shred those damages against them, and that's going to be a godlike here for Kyle TZ.
This is too difficult, right? They don't have very good high ground defense, and against this Jushin, it's impossible to get in front of her, especially with the bodyguards around her, whether it be Ogwen or even Flap. They're just too thick for them to get cut through, and now they're going to be knocking on to the Crystal as the next inhibitor might just be falling here. They're looking for the kill on towards JPL side, who saves Owl and repositions him, but Falcons Apbren, they can sit here forever with the help of that motivational roar, and even few buying extra utility items in that Ice Queen's wand is going to make it even harder for NIP Flash to stay away.
Yeah, they're even buying the Winter Crown, but yeah, for Falcons Apbren, it's more of controlled aggression again.
Yup, it's him backwards. Ogwen's trying to get on out of there. Does flicker motivational roar, as well as Super Marco just blowing them through a double kill. They're making it look easy this time as Kyle can just tank every single turret, and now with the Winter Crown, he's able to dive freely. They just want to farm for KDA. They could have broken the Crystal anytime they wanted to, and that's just game 1.
What a fast game by Falcons Apbren. Almost flawless for that performance. I didn't expect that NP Flash would be just reactive during that time. I didn't know that Falcons Apbren is bringing that playoffs mode that fast.
Guys, 11 minutes and 24 seconds. That's how long it took. That's only how long it took for Falcons Apbren to take game number 1. Just really setting the tempo and just setting the pace of what we're going to expect in this best of 3. But again, that was a very commendable performance for Falcons Apbren, right? They understood what NIP Flash wanted to do with their composition, right? They understood it so well, and they didn't play into the trap. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and even for Falcons Apbren, they also know the weakness of the lineup of NIP Flash, more in the faster pace of the game, but they did faster as compared to NIP Flash. So I kind of feel like for NIP Flash, if they want to play a quicker one, just don't give the Shushin, I guess, for Falcons Apbren, because Falcons Apbren has been playing great with that hero.
I mean, let's look at these highlights here, right? It shouldn't be too difficult because Ducky was setting up this overall composition, and I think that the biggest weakness that we saw from NIP Flash was they're not very good against soft CC, things that slow you down, right? Instead of looking for those hard, like, oh, I need to be able to hit this one big impactful spell. If we just drag this out, the Glue plus Jushin, that one is legitimately disgusting because it's the perfect balance of soft CC and hard CC.
Go heal. here.
Yeah, go here, pull him back, do it all over again. And the displacement effects from both of them.
It was very difficult, we could even see, right? And that was like when they wanted to go and set up for the neutral objective, and they couldn't because of how badly Adamir was slowed down. So this is something that they do really need to think about when it comes back down to the drafts. I think Jushin, again, it's too expensive of a hero, especially on certain pilots, and Few is one of those pilots. Very disruptive with the farming pattern, and the farming pattern is exactly what NIP Flash really want to do. At a certain point, there was a 3-4 level EXP gap between the junglers.
Yeah, that is because of the rotation again, or the focus of rotation of Falcons Apbren on Adamir's side. Again, if you are meant to be the one up front when taking objectives, which is Adamir in the case of NIP Flash, it was really hard for Curtizy and Hades to do the usual rotation that they were doing with this Julian and Marty's hero composition. Even JPL, it will be really hard for him to sustain all the damages that Falcons Apbren has been bringing to them, because he want to focus on having all the time of his life on the gold lane, but at the same time he's confused whether I go to the XP lane for extra help, so that the XP lane is more on the safer side. So it's as if you want the XP lane to be a dead lane, right?
Yeah.
But all the rotation went to the XP lane instead of forcing a nice rotation on the XP lane.
Well, I mean, it's a couple of things, right? I mean, look at the kill participation. The biggest problem that I see here is that Curtizy is unable to get in on his fights.
0%.
Yeah, he's at 0%, mainly because he's forced to use the Mortar Coil super early on. And he needs to do so. If not, he's just going to die to Few, right? There's no escaping Flaptizian as well as Few. And if to make matters worse, he still has to deal with Kyle, who also has a slow, on top of Olgun, who has a knockup, and Super Marco with a corrosion scythe, right? So there's just way too many things to worry about, and I think that's something that NIP Flash has to change. This early game composition does not work anymore, and they're going to have to play something mid to late.
Yeah, even the tower and damage here for the statistics tells a lot about the game.
Oh my god.
There's no split push, there's no cross map play, even if the focus is on the XP lane side. So even Owl's lane wasn't that effective because Super Marco has everything set up from Falcons Apbren. If there's a play on the XP lane, okay, I'll go mid lane. I'll go double laning. That's why for our golden XP graph, it's really going towards Falcons Apbren side. There's no chance for NIP Flash to slow things.
And the majority of that just comes from like Kyle, TZ, and as well, I want to say Flat, but it's also Super Marco because of that double laning, right? But once they broke that bottom tier 1, we saw a couple of things just go wrong for NIP Flash. They wanted to trade back a turret with the extra mobility. Technically, it should work, but that's where the coverage becomes an issue, because unfortunately, Curtizy cannot protect the safe routes for NIP Flash to fall back upon, right? And that's when Ogun comes into play. That's when you see Few come in.